Noon the show by Lauderdale, Jones, Scott, and Smith, Winston, Leak, you better act right. Don't drive slow and be wild at night, 'cause you need to know that if you do, that Scotty Ray is watching you. He's everywhere, he's everywhere. That man is faster than a scalded cat. If you do something dumb, then you better run with haste. Scotty Ray's at a wreck before it ever takes place.
And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. Greg joins us again today.
Oh, yes, sir.
Welcome back.
A little cool this morning, isn't it?
About 40 out there.
I got an idea we better enjoy it because it ain't going to be very long till we're going to wish it was 40 degrees.
This is one of those nice mornings you can sit on your porch, sip coffee, and it's nice, cool.
That's right.
Yesterday was a prime example of that being out. As I stood out there for 5 hours, it was pleasant.
Exactly. Not going to be many more days like that.
No, it's not. But we got some thanks to be given this morning. And let me pull this up and show everybody. This is the Tennessee pastor who had gone, what do you call it when you go to those other countries?
Missionary trip.
Yeah, he was
Mission work, whatever.
And he was there, kidnapped while he was in the middle of a sermon, taken hostage. And I'm assuming, I haven't read everything about it as to who went in, but they went in yesterday and saved him. They took out 3 bad guys that had kidnapped him. They were killed at the scene, and he has been released, and he has been saved. Is that not wonderful? Prayer works, doesn't it?
That's awesome. Awesome.
Number one, why kidnap this guy? It's not like missionaries have a lot of money. You know what I mean by that?
A lot of times, I think, is to make a statement, trying to make a statement or a point, and some people just can't stand the gospel being spread.
Well, you got a point, Greg, and that just may have been it to where they wanted to stop Jesus' work. And that
ain't gonna happen. He's almighty, all powerful. You're not gonna do that. You might put a pebble in the road, but he's gonna keep strolling.
But as we say, boy, that is a true blessing for this to have happened. He's been
that's good news.
He's been saved, and all is good. We'll find out more about the bad guys. This was in South Africa. Again, I know there's a lot of people who donate to go on these mission trips. And I love y'all for what you do.
Yeah.
There's some folks on 45th and 46th that need it also.
Yeah.
I have never been one to go across the pond to go to stuff like that. But God love everybody who does that.
That's right. To each their own. I'm kind of like you. I think I'm gonna weed eat around my door first.
Yeah, that's me and the way it works there. Good morning. It is Wednesday, believe it or not, middle of the week. We've got Larry Gil coming in just a moment. We're going to find out what's going on there. Marion, we're going to be looking at all of that. Yesterday was a busy day, and we expect to get a little bit more information, hopefully, from the Meridian Police Department. There was almost a standoff, and as you and I were looking at this as it began to unfold.
Yeah, right in the middle of lunch.
Yeah, it was. Interrupted plans.
Yes. Pull up at a restaurant where my fat self can see the menu. And had to make a U-turn and leave. That's cold-blooded.
It was bad. We were this close.
Yeah, we were very close to ordering.
And so we had to turn and come back to the situation unfold. And I have to brag on this part now. The actions of the Meridian Police Department, where they acted so swiftly, stopped it being a standoff.
They probably, avoided a much worse situation by their quick response.
Yeah.
And their professionalism. I mean, that's one thing about it. We'll give credit when it's due. And they did a good job.
Let's take a look here at what we've got of where all this began. This was at the Hampton Inn yesterday. Now, we were there 4.5 hours, somewhere along there, possibly 5 hours. And a lot of the times we didn't know exactly what was happening. Here's a video as we pan around. Had some nice birds there chirping. This was the early part of this, where everybody's going, I know something's going on, I just don't know what. As this would continue over the next few hours, this is, let's jump to this picture here, Greg. In front of these vehicles here is a U-Haul van, a pull-behind bumper pull. and it was thought there's something could be in there
A
that
U-Haul trailer.
yeah, that
Okay.
could possibly have something that could harm people in it.
Okay.
I believe police went through that and determined that everything in it was okay. It was hauled away for them to examine that. As we go here, state troopers, let me tell you, were everywhere. We had MBI, we had the FBI, we had Homeland Security on scene.
All right. And correct me if I'm wrong. This
Okay.
started off as someone's allegedly pointed a gun or showed a gun to an employee or something like that.
Correct.
maybe?
And I was a little off when I started talking about this. I thought at first they had gone to the lobby,
Right.
and that's not what happened. It was the cleaning ladies, as we all know them. You've ever stayed in a hotel room?
They're everywhere.
Yeah, they'll
Yeah.
knock on your door and say, "Hey, can we clean your room?" Well, the two old boys inside apparently didn't want to have their room cleaned and opened the door with two AR-style 15 rifles. Now, if I'm cleaning lady, I'm fisting to leave too. They did. They ran downstairs to the front desk and called police. The police arrive, and bad guys, we'll call them bad guys, look out the window and they see police coming in. So they decide it's time to leave Meridian. They weren't quite quick enough. They got to the car, put it in drive, and went to take off, and they were surrounded. Guns drawn, and they gave up. No problems whatsoever.
I just don't get why you're going to show the cleaning lady your gun. I mean, that don't, and if you are a bad guy and whatever is
Yeah.
in the U-Haul trailer, 99 times out of 100, had you just acted right, none of this would have happened. And you'd have got by with whatever you was hauling and whatever you was doing. Again, quit being stupid, people.
I know. Here, it gets even worse, though. They had taken all the furniture out of the room and threw it in the hall. Maybe not all of it, but a good portion of it. Why do you want to do that?
Gee, that usually kind of draws attention to you.
It does.
Dummy.
And that's what went on there. And this would lead up, as police would arrive, there was suspicious stuff in the room. And so Fido was called in. And I don't know if y'all saw him. And I've got many, many videos here, and I'd have to go back through as we look at all of this to find which one of these that Fido was in. But he comes up and he gets into a box and he does that bark, whatever the dogs do when they point and find something. So that alerted some folks from Jackson PD need to come over with their squad that specialize in this, that look for materials that could harm others. And I'm not saying the word because social media is real hard on that word. It causes an alert, so I'm not going to say the word. But they did that. Now, the room was full of ammunition, from what I'm understanding. Loads and loads of it. At the end of the day, and we're going to be getting a statement. Let's go over. I've got a story that I followed up with last night. Let me see if I can find that. That we will get formal charges today of what they're going to be charged with. Let's see here. Yeah, this is how it's written. Let me pull this back up. They avoided the standoff. Two suspects were taken into custody yesterday. The charges are going to be announced today at some time. I'm leaning toward there probably won't be a press conference. Me, in my opinion, thinks there ought to be one.
Yeah.
But I don't think we'll get that. I think we'll get some pictures later today of who the suspects are. Now, there's some things I can't say that I've bumped into, but very suspicious what was in that room. Lots of people have been coming to Meridian to visit these old boys. I think they had some pals from all over. But they are going to be getting charges. Now, there was not anything that would have went like this. But the dog didn't like what was in there, and I'm sure what ammunition is made of may have caused him to bark a little bit there.
But again, you could have half a pickup load of ammunition.
Yeah, there's...
You haven't really broke a law yet.
Unless
Till you start barricading yourself in and acting like an idiot, pulling a firearm on a cleaning lady.
Maybe you're already a felon. That might be a problem.
Okay.
But have no fear. As I was going about doing my reporting there, the police chief jumped out and told me that I could not go to the Shell station. Now, I'm not lying, y'all. We've got multiple units of Mississippi Highway Patrol, ATF, and she gets out of her SUV to tell me that I cannot go to the Shell station. And I said, this is a public place. I can go here. Well, you need to go toward the front. And I said, I'm not going to argue with you. And I walked off. But that was top priority on the Chiefs' 2 months remaining. Top priority yesterday as we were having a major situation in Meridian. I was worrying about where I was walking to. So bless it. Jimmy didn't show. He's not going to show. That is the problems that we have in this administration. I want y'all to be very clear about this. A leader needs to know when to stand up and lead. The only thing left of the leader that we have now is the keys to the Tahoe that are still at the house. He ain't showed up. He ain't been there. He ain't coming back in. And I made this statement earlier. What's that old saying of the sword that you live and die on? I can't tell you the amount of times that he gave a speech and said, this is the best police chief we've ever had in Meridian. Voters didn't agree with him because crime is high. Just as a leader, that's just a little advice to be sure of what the people in your district want. And speaking of leaders and what people want, we're going to be talking to this guy here in a minute there. He's pretty good about knowing what his folks want.
That's right.
How's everything in Marion this morning? Sun come up?
Man, it was good when I left a few minutes ago, Scotty Ray.
For the folks who don't know, this is Mayor Larry Gil of the town of Marion, Mississippi. He's going to be talking with us this morning of everything they have going. But boy, I mean, that was a big situation, Meridian, yesterday.
That was huge. That was huge. Long time out there, too. 4.5, 5 hours. That's a long time.
Now, and let me ask this, as we know that there's two candidates going to be running for mayor coming up, and I know that you're close friends with Percy, who runs it. Would Percy have been there if he was mayor?
I'm almost certain he would. He's very involved. He was involved when he was the mayor from 2013 to 2021, and I don't see that changing. He's always been there and been active.
No, we were looking for Jimmy, but he's kind of like George Jones. They call me No Show Jones. More to follow. It's already, 13 minutes after the hour as we get this day underway. We're going to talk about Marion, what's going on there. Larry, Mayor Gil is here. Y'all got an election coming up also, don't you?
That's right. Yeah. We got 7 people running for the Board of Aldermen, and how we do it is they choose up to 5, and the top 5 vote getters of the board.
Did you know it was that way?
Oh, I had no clue.
I thought each person got voted on, but apparently not.
Yep, top 5 vote getters. I kind of like it because you're accountable to everybody. You know, everybody votes for you.
You don't have your own alderman. Yeah, okay,
Right.
I got you.
Yep.
Wow. So we'll find out more about that. That's on the way next here at the Scotty Ray Report. J&J Tire and Muffler, located at 3420 8th Street, invites you by. And if you need a front-end alignment, make sure to try their new state-of-the-art alignment machine. No matter the size of your truck and car, J&J can align it. J&J also has touch-free mounting, laser wheel balancing, and as always, they provide preventive maintenance, including CV axles, shocks, struts, brakes, with the largest selection of new and used tires, along with exhaust systems. Locally owned and operated since 1978 in Meridian.
When it comes to enhancing your outdoor experience, you need a companion that can keep up. The Kubota RTV 850 Sidekick at Parrish is your ultimate utility vehicle for every adventure. From the deer camp, trail riding, or just working on the farm, the Sidekick delivers powerful performance and versatility. These units start at $15,499 cash and have a $2,000 rebate. Financing is available as low as $285 a month.
Our local headlines are brought to you by the Rock House Gun and Pawn.
Patrick Allen Companies has a wide selection of garage doors that will fit your style, add value to your home, and add curb appeal to your neighborhood. Patrick Allen also has top-of-the-line, energy-efficient replacement windows that will make your home look great while saving you money. We're family-owned and operated, and we take pride in our work. 5305 Highway 145 South in Meridian.
For all your garage doors and replacement windows,
call Patrick Allen Companies. Safety, service, satisfaction.
Greg, you think somebody had just watched too many episodes of The Godfather and thought Meridian was a great place to stay?
I don't know. I say they was up to something no good.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll get some statements out of this. And
they wasn't selling shoes like the old fella on Andy Griffith.
No,
You know
sir.
what I mean?
Sure wasn't.
No.
That was a good. Do you remember that episode where the guy had been getting the paper
Yep.
for all those years, and everybody in town thought the guy was up to something?
Yep.
Knew too much about everybody.
Do too much.
Ooh, well, what is going on in Marion? Of course, yesterday we had the supervisor come by, J.J. Anders, head of the supervisors of Lauderdale County. This is kind of a controversy that has begun in Marion about paving.
Yeah.
Now, numbers, I tried.
Yeah.
I did not get any numbers whatsoever out of the Board of Supervisors yesterday. For whatever reason, they didn't want to give us the amounts. I feel like they should, because that's taxpayer dollars. If we're going to talk about what's going on with paving, I feel that should be put out there, but it was not. Where are you in the loop of this stuff?
Well, we're in the process of running some numbers of our own. We have our engineer looking into some things and trying to make sure that Marion is covered, because I have an obligation to make sure that we get our fair share of taxpayer dollars, whether it comes from the county or whether it's in the town of Marion. That's what I'm going to do. I hope that if there are future discussions that we're a part of them, and if there are numbers, we'd like to see them. I've asked for them, and so I'm hoping.
So you've asked for them but have not gotten them
I
yet?
haven't got them yet. So and I understand what Rush said. He's never saw Marion as its own little spot that he kept up with everything that he did in Marion.
Correct.
He just did it.
Treated
okay?
it like the rest of the county, and just
Correct.
something's wrong, you fix it.
Yep. And I can say this: anytime I've called Rush, if he couldn't do it, he told me why he couldn't do it, and so.
And as we talk about, Rush is he's the road foreman. He takes care of that. And I think this was more aimed at the supervisors of getting their numbers together.
Rush catches a lot.
Yeah.
You always hear, everything rolls downhill. Well, no, I think a lot of times stuff rolls to the middle.
Right.
Because that's what Rush is stuck right square in the middle.
Yeah,
He's trying to please the Board of Supervisors.
Yeah.
He's trying to please the public. And a lot of times he's everybody's scapegoat. Well, if we could just get something out of that road for
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Poor feller's doing the best he can.
He is doing the best he can, and it puts him in a bad position when we make political decisions that don't align with the best interests of everybody.
That's right.
I think that bottom line of it is, and this is just me, if you're gonna make a motion, you gotta know the numbers.
You do.
I mean, it's just, if you think it's gonna save you money, you gotta be able to say, hey, this is what is gonna save the county, and this is why it's the best decision. This is why we're gonna do what we're gonna do. I've told everybody in Marion that's called me, and it's not gonna change. We're gonna be fine. We're gonna figure it out. That's what we have to do. No matter what happens, we gotta figure it out. And we're just in the process of positioning ourselves just in case something happens. Do I think anything else will come of it? Probably not.
If I'm reading into this, and y'all, I didn't get much back on them. It didn't get a second motion at the Board of Supervisors.
Correct.
So that means that 4 other supervisors don't want to touch it. It's like a hot potato.
Yeah, it's a hot potato.
And they didn't want to touch it. So I don't see any of them bringing it back up. And I don't see any of them going, hey, JJ, let me jump on board with you now. I don't think they want to go there.
And it may get to that, but I'm hopeful that if it does get to that, we've had some extensive conversations, not 3 or 4 days back and forth. I didn't know about it until the newspaper called me, so I had no clue. But I'm hopeful that if we do decide to go this route as a county, that the Board of Aldermen in Marion and myself and the people that need to be involved are at the table, and we can have meaningful discussions to where we get to a common ground somewhere.
Now, is this because you haven't gotten the official numbers and you're trying to get somebody to give you? There's no way you can make a decision off the information that you have of where the town of Marion would be better or worse or which way to go, is it?
Everybody that's asked me, I've been able to tell them, no one can make that logical decision right now because nobody's presented the numbers. So you can say that this is what you think, but we don't know that. When we see the numbers, if we can quantify the numbers, we got to know if we can quantify that. I don't know when they go in to fix a pothole, how do you quantify that? Or when they are cleaning out a ditch, how do you quantify that? And if we can quantify it, then we got something to talk about. But until then, we're just talking.
So as we look at it, and I do think the Board of Supervisors have got some numbers, they just were not given to us. Yeah. And I asked for them, but we didn't get it.
I just don't see, again, and I'm not a construction engineer or whatever, but man, that'd be difficult to figure out man hours, material. You know what I'm saying? Every time something happens, because the only thing I do know about road maintenance and stuff like that is it's tremendously expensive. Oh yeah, everything they do is expensive. Mm-hmm. And if we're talking, and I'm just throwing out $150,000, $160,000. That's no money, man. Mm-hmm. That's you know what I'm saying. Yeah. Like we had those rains this past year. Mm-hmm. You blow out a couple of box culverts and.
Yeah, you right there.
You know what I mean? Anything can happen.
I can't remember how much it has jumped of when I had my driveway asphalted, and what the asphalt costs now. But it's
a lot.
Triple.
It's
a lot.
It's ridiculous what it costs. And as I learn more about county government, I see again. Rush tries to fix the biggest leak in the dam. I think about the little Dutch boy or whatever. Yeah. He's trying to get it. He's trying to cut he'll never get it fixed. No. But it's you try to fix the biggest problem first. Yep. And it seems to me that on any given day, there's a major crisis somewhere. And you just have to put a Band-Aid on the spot that's bleeding the most. And I don't know, and I think a lot of it, like he's talking about how old our infrastructure is.
Right. Built in the 60s, wasn't it?
No, well, see, some of it go way on back now. Our infrastructure, our roads and ditches. And I tell you something else you think about. The number of vehicles on the road compared to the number of vehicles in the 50s and 60s, even in the 70s.
It's different.
It's a whole lot different. So, our roads are taking a beating, and it's tough in a political, whether you're a mayor, a board, alderman, supervisor, whatever, to try to stretch those dollars. Right. And everybody wants every foot of pavement they can get. Yeah.
So at this point, where does this lie, Larry? Is this kind of like over for the time being?
I'm guessing it's over. We hadn't had any more conversations about it. Like I said, what we're trying to do is position ourselves to be able to continue to serve the people of Marion.
Regardless, you would like the numbers now to be prepared if something were to change.
Yeah, I need the numbers. Got to have the numbers. Everything that I do, it comes down to the numbers. It's got to make sense on paper, and we got to make sure that we can manage what we're trying to do. And if they want us to do that, and like I said, no matter what happens, we got to figure it out. You know, bottom line. But in order to do that, we got to know the numbers. And I think that that's just bottom line. It's something that in my opinion, should have never happened without consulting and without, you should be able to almost tell me to the penny if you're going to make a motion on something.
Correct.
Just my opinion.
And that's the way it is at this point. And I asked a question, did somebody say that they would back you in this? And I didn't get an answer from that. I'm assuming that somebody gave it, I like that. And then when it got down to it, they wouldn't back the motion. Don't know who that person is.
I'm going to play devil's advocate or whatever right here. I also commend JJ as a new supervisor. I think he probably got the cart ahead of the horses per se when it comes to numbers, but he's trying to do what he can for everybody, for Lauderdale County, for the city of Marion, city of Meridian, whatever. I commend him for doing something, even if he might have made a mistake here. And own up to it, hey, I should have had my ducks in a row before I presented this. I agree with that, and I think he'd agree to that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But again, he wasn't up there sleeping. He was doing something.
Yeah. I mean, in all of our roles, we have an obligation to try to make sure that we spend the taxpayers' dollars wisely.
Absolutely.
And we've had to cut things. I mean, that's just a part of it.
And it hurts.
Yeah, it does hurt. I mean,
you may not be able to get that new truck that the water system needs.
That's right.
Wait a little while.
Right. We're gonna have to buy a used vehicle. You know, you just got to play the game and play the numbers. But at the end of the day, it all goes back to those numbers.
You got to have the numbers to know what you're playing with.
You got to have the numbers. That's just the bottom line. And I believe that JJ is trying to help the county taxpayers. I believe that. I believe that there are other areas you can cut before you cut a taxing entity. I believe there is. I believe that, like I said from the get-go, we pay the same amount of county tax as everybody else. And then that's what it is.
Y'all think back on this. Right now, as we all know, millage, land taxes went up tremendously. Think back when they were trying to put that school bond issue on you, what your taxes would be if you got that plus this land tax. It is getting to the point to where you almost need to find another county to go to, that we're getting so out of hand here. And the words that we're using yesterday that he brought up was, I'm trying to stop a situation from turning bad later.
Yeah.
Is there something more that we don't know?
He also said, I will not vote for a tax increase.
But he can't speak for the other four.
He can't speak for the other. Right. I agree with that. But I also, again, and I don't want this to sound like I'm just flying their flag, but you got to answer, if the people keep wanting more and more services and expecting more and more services out of the government. People they'll get together. We want smaller government, less government. But I want my garbage picked up. I want my road striped, and we need got pothole. It costs money, and regardless of what you think, there's administration. It ain't just the guy on the shovel. You got to have. It costs money for government services, and we got where we're expecting more and more out of the government to do everything for you, and pick your poison.
I see that, but with that, I think a lot of this has to do with transparency of knowing what things cost. I don't know if the taxpayer really realizes everything that's out there that's driving these prices.
And it's going up every day. You know what I'm talking about? That's like asphalt, rock.
Right.
I bought a load of rock.
How much was it?
$950 for a short truck, not an 18-wheeler, a short truck.
That's high.
Of rock. Yeah, I ain't even spread them out yet. I just keep looking at them.
Maybe they'll grow.
Yeah, I keep thinking every time I get a 5-gallon bucket, I go, well, that's $20. We're talking about a load of gravel, man. We're not talking about.
Yeah.
All right, we got more coming up. We're going to talk about what all else is going on in Marion, and your tax dollars hard at work. Where do they go? We'll learn more about this.
Celebrating our 7th anniversary, Al's Garden and Gift is excited to share the beautiful colors of spring with you. Beautiful bedding and vegetable plants, hanging baskets, roses, ferns, shrubs, and fruit trees to help you enjoy the season. Spruce up lawn and flower beds with fresh sod, mulch, soils, and pine straw. Then brighten your day with unique gifts, candles, gourmet food items, flags, wind chimes, planters, fountains, custom wreaths, and so much more. Spring is here at Al's Garden and Gift. Bloom with happiness.
The selection is always changing at Massey Supermart Auto Sales with low mileage cars and trucks. How about a Z71 2500 HD? Or maybe you're looking for the Ford F-150 with lots of leg room in it. Plenty of SUVs like the Explorer for the family. Or if you're looking for a gas saver to go back and forth to work, come by and see the mini cars like this Nissan.
The low profit dealer, Massey Supermart.
At Pettit Jewelers in Philadelphia, Mississippi, trust Nicole with your priceless heirloom jewelry. With generations of refined expertise, she ensures your cherished pieces are meticulously cared for. Pettit Jewelers, Philadelphia.
Meridian's favorite barbecue is Squealer's Barbecue, named the barbecue capital for the state of Mississippi. Whether it's barbecue, wings, or burgers, Squealer's simply has the best for a family environment. Every Thursday night, there's live music out on the porch. Takeout orders are welcome, and whether it's your next tailgate or large catering event, your friends at Squealers are there to help. Drop in for lunch today or a night out on the town. Squealers Barbecue, the best in fine barbecue.
And welcome back. I'm your friend Scott. I want to address this. We had someone put in the comments, Mayor, it says, let me read this. County taxpayers' money cannot be used to in a incorporated city or town limits. That's not exactly so, is it?
No, that's not true. Every taxpayer in Lauderdale County, whether you live in the city, or the town of Marion, wherever you live, they pay the same county tax. The people that live in the city and in Marion pay above that. They
Extra taxes.
They pay a whole nother tax that just goes to the town of Marion, that just goes to the city of Meridian. The county tax is level. It's the same for everybody. And so
let's take
their due services the same. They're due the same services. Go ahead.
But a car tag, is one thing for the county. If you buy it in the city, that car tag
because you got
$100 more.
Usually a third more
right.
in the city.
Right, because you got to pay the city and town tax. It's just what it is. And so it is a myth that you cannot spend county taxpayers' dollars because we're part of the county.
Well, it's kind of like the sheriff's
limits.
department. The sheriff's department can arrest in the city because that's a part of the county.
Right. And we pay a tax that funds the sheriff's department.
And you pay extra tax in the city to pay for the city police
That's
department.
exactly right.
Or the town of Marion police
That's
department.
exactly right. That's exactly how it goes. So, you're due services from both entities. Bottom line. You're due, and if you pay a school tax, you're due a service from them to educate your kids. You're due a service from the schools, the county, and the city if you live in the city. That's just what it is.
But I do think with everything like they're doing nationwide, you have to go back and reassess where money's being spent.
Yep.
What's it being spent on, and look at it. Sometimes there's this you get caught up in the day-to-day things. You don't realize how much money's been wasted. On something, and it's time to look at the books.
You gotta dig deep sometimes. I mean, if you dig deep, you're gonna find it. You gotta open it up and figure out what's a priority. What are priorities?
What are wants and what are needs?
Yep, that's exactly right.
Everybody wants.
Everybody wants to look good. Everybody wants to drive a nice vehicle. Everybody wants to have an easier job by having this. And sometimes, I'm just buying my guys 2 years ago a locator. He been pinching forever.
Yeah.
He been sticking the ground for a long time. But it's certain things that we just got to evaluate. How often are we locating lines? How often are we doing? We got to talk about all of that to get to, hey, do we need to spend money on this? Because I get it. Some people call me the bad guy when it comes to. I don't think that they try to get around me when they say, hey, we need this, because I'm gonna ask you about 30 questions. You're gonna have to tell me why we need it.
They got to justify it.
Yeah,
every now and then you need a snow shovel, but do you really want to buy up a bunch of snow shovels?
I agree with that.
You got to prioritize.
And Marion is in a growing position. So things that we didn't used to have to use a lot. I mean, we built 40-something homes in this 4-year time.
That's good.
And so it's a lot more activity, a lot more things going on. So we got to spend a little bit more money.
Got a pharmacy now?
Yeah, but with that, those 40 people that moved in, they're paying taxes.
Yeah.
We got to service them. That's the bottom line, and we can't leave them out. We can't just say, all right, these people have been here. We're going to deal with them. No, we got to make it work for everybody. So and that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to continue to do.
I have a question on this. Somebody brought up logging here. Logging trucks cause major damage to roadway and bridges. They raise your taxes, and you have to pay more for the lumber.
All right. I don't want to look like I just showed up, but I didn't know this was going to be a question, or I would have had some numbers. Log trucks pay more in taxes and fuel taxes and privilege taxes. Big trucks pay their way, and without them, this country would cease to exist without our big trucks. Now, my opinion, of course, everybody knows I worked in the forestry business for 29 years. I'm very much pro-logger. I mean, I agree. It's a fine line. Like the mayor over there said, everybody's got to kind of work together on these rural country roads and stuff. But you think about, you work your whole life to grow your timber that you probably ain't going to get to cut but once.
In your life.
Maybe twice. And then you got somebody tell, well, you can't haul that down this road. I mean, this is my life savings. This was my one shot. Not saying there's not big timber companies out there that's got thousands of acres. I'm just saying our local people, and I dealt with this for years, your local landowner that's got 40 acres or got 80 acres, it's hard on them. But I can assure you that the log trucks and the big trucks, they are paying more than their fair share of taxes on fuel, road and bridge, and all of that.
Oh, insurance, and then let's just take a look at the attacks on them of attorneys. How many billboards do you see with sue this company, sue them?
Yeah.
Right.
Just because they got a log truck don't mean they got a lot of money. They're like
If
you.
you write your name on the door or something, you're basically putting a target on it. I mean, somebody wants to sue you for something, or rock come off there and hit my windshield. Well, how do you know? I mean, you just met 20 trucks. How do you know it was my truck?
You know, I was in Collinsville. This is about a year ago, and there was a truck fire, and I turned around, 18-wheeler, and I came back and I talked to the guy there. He was a truck owner. It was the only truck he had. It was an electrical fire, and it caught at the front and burnt the whole electrical. Wow. And he said, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
I'm out of business.
Yep. He was shut down. No way then to haul his load.
That's
and
right.
You know, they're just like me and you. It's check to check. Now, again, as Greg said, there are huge companies out there. Don't get us wrong that have all that, but a lot of times it's that little guy.
Right. The huge companies, the middle size, the little guy, the guy that's got one truck. I'm telling you, trucking is the backbone of America. Everything you touch or consume is moved by a truck at one time or another. You know what I mean?
I do.
We kill our own cows. Well, how'd that feed get there? How'd the cow get there? How'd the tractor, you know what I'm saying? The fence material. Everything comes around here on a truck. I'm sorry, I love my big trucks.
That goes with your skidder drivers, the whole 9 yards that pull all this stuff together. More coming up as we discuss politics, religion, and a whole lot more. All here at the Scotty Ray Report.
We welcome you to a new vehicle buying experience here at Doc's Toyota. Buying a new vehicle doesn't have to be stressful, but don't just take our word for it.
This was the best experience I've ever had buying a vehicle.
Doc's employees are top-notch.
I drove 2 hours, not once, but twice, to purchase 2 vehicles with a 5-month time frame.
Doc's delivers competitive pricing, a comprehensive selection, and flexible financing options, helping you get on the road from Carthage, Meridian, and beyond. There's a reason why there's no deal like a Doc's deal.
If every time the wind blows you get a little leery about a tree over your house, talk to my friends at Reed Tree Service. There's no reason to be worried about a tree crashing through your house. Mike Reed has years of experience dealing with trees. It can be as simple as having a limb removed or a tree that is just huge too close to your shop or house. It's not going to cost you anything to have Mike come out and give you an estimate. They're licensed and insured, taking care of East Mississippi and West Alabama. Reed Tree Service. Have tree, will travel. As the seasons change, so do your clothes, and Garrett Sports Center on 8th Street has exactly what you need. Haybo shirts, long and short sleeve, also Hulk shirts, and America's favorite brand, Carhartt. Whether you need work pants or slacks for church, and nothing lasts like a pair of Carhartt overalls. Maybe it's a set of boots that you need to keep you dry in those wet conditions. And as hunting season rolls in, they have all the camouflage you need and toboggans to boot. Garrett Sports Center, 3505 8th Street, Meridian. Welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray, along with Greg and, of course, the mayor of Marion, Larry Gil. And Terry brought up something. I'm two ways on this. I can remember as a kid, you can't get around him because he's going 30 in this burning motor oil.
Putwood truck.
Boy, did they just disappear off the face of the earth or what?
Well, a lot of your
I saw one
big companies bought all the mills. You know, used to you could sell putwood there by off 22nd. You could sell out at the Suba Wood Yard.
Sears.
Equipment had a wood yard. Yeah. there's no market for it now. All the big companies kind of swallowed up the little ones, and it kind of puts your pupwooder out of business. Is there a market? Absolutely. Everybody, I get phone calls still every week. I got 3 or 4 acres, or my daughter and them building a house, or who will cut? There's hardly anybody out there that'll go cut 1 or 2 acres. And I get it, the big guy, they can't move millions of dollars worth of equipment for an hour's worth of work. Mm-hmm. But there's very few people that cut paperwood anymore, and there's not much of a market for it.
So but you just don't see them. And pulpwood makes a lot of your press board and things of that nature. For wondering what all that was about.
I remember if you left Meridian going to Mobile on that old 2-lane 45. Oh man, it could take 8 hours if the pulpwood truck was in front.
And I can remember Porterville, Mississippi, scuba, that being a major hub for these places. Yeah. Philadelphia had it also.
Before the 3 lanes going up the hill there by the Evangel Temple, if you ever got behind a pulpwood truck going by Jitney Jr., you might well just stop and fix a sandwich, because you wasn't getting home no time soon.
Things have changed. And
there's no market, no meals for pulpwood, to answer your question.
They've gone away. But let me tell you something. You want to talk about physically fit? Those guys that haul pulpwood, let me tell you, that was not somebody you mess with.
You just asked Jerry Clower and old Marcel that said when he stuck that McCulloch in that screen door, they give Marcel the beer joint.
I love that story. It was one of the best there ever was. They are obsolete these days. As we talk to Larry Gil, what is happening with the 4-way stop? Will that ever progress towards a red light or something else? Or a bypass?
Yeah, we're working on that. Of course, we did a survey, and roundabout was one of the top. It was the top choice amongst the citizens, and it was deemed the safest amongst MDOT. We are still in the process of that. We had some funding had made it out of the committee in federal government. Michael Guest helped with that, and but now they're not funding any community projects.
Nothing happened this year.
Yeah, nothing happened this year. So we're hopeful that next year he did ask. We did talk to him. He did ask for the same projects. He's going to push for those same projects again. He's not going to add any new projects. He's going to push for those same projects again. So with him and his seniority in Washington, we're hopeful that we'll be on the table again to make those improvements. Not necessarily, don't know exactly what we're going to do, but we're trying to. Our plan, our goal is to 3-lane from Henderson Steel all the way up to the Shell that connects 45.
Oh, that would be.
And we need it. We got some major developments going on right now. A lot of land being purchased, a lot of acquisitions going on, and so there are good conversations. And matter of fact, I'm going to a meeting after here just to continue to turn the wheel a little bit. And we're in a great position, and people in Marion and people around Marion are going to be very happy in the near future if everything keeps going the way it's going.
Veterinary clinic there now.
Yep. So we're glad about it. So, and as the mayor, we got to protect these assets that are coming. So we're in the process of adopting codes and ordinances just to make sure we got a plan in place, because with growth comes some growing pains, and we don't want to be in position that we just let people throw up anything everywhere, and we be all boxed in and can't continue to grow. So
you've got to grow.
Oh yeah.
So we wish you luck on that. Coming up, we've got some more to discuss as we'll get into a few things that happen locally. More with Mayor Larry Gil on the way at the Scotty Ray Report.
Celebrating our 7th anniversary.
Hey, welcome to Kia Meridian.
We're a family-owned business that has been serving the community for 25 years.
If you're looking for a new Kia, we have them. And if we don't, we'll find it.
No stress, no hassle, just the best deals. And right now we can get rates as low as 0%.
Shop local, get the car you want. And be a part of the Kia Meridian family.
Have you been wanting your own building, your own shed? Speak to our friends at Best Sadia Building, 601-728-1954. Now, they can custom build you a home from a barn dominium. Maybe it's a shed that you're needing, or a simple place to park your car, a garage, a camp house. Maybe you need a place to park your tractor, your motorcycle, or even that lawnmower. They can custom design whatever it is you need. Quality work, trustworthy, best city of buildings. Speak with Drew, 601-728-1954. The tractors are rolling at Freeman Tractor on Highway 494. Drop in and see Keith, Cornbread, or Buttermilk. They've got a tractor that fits the need that you have. Whether it's a 26 horsepower, a 40, or bigger. Plus, they offer 0% financing for up to 96 months. Whether it's a part, a new tractor, 0% financing, or just simply a laugh. 601-626-8759, Highway 494 in Collinsville. That's Freeman Tractor. Welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray along with Greg as we look at Kemper County Ask for Your Help. They got somebody they're after, and let's pull this up here. This is who it's wanted. Now, they've got a reward out for this guy, Crime Stoppers. He was indicted by the Kemper County Grand Jury for conspiracy to introduce contraband into the Kemper Neshoba Correctional Facility. If you've seen him, know where he is, call this number here, 855-485-8477. There is a reward on this. His name is Cordarius Shondavis Lake. If you happen to know where he is, contact a police department near you. You can dial 911. You don't necessarily have to call that one. But to get the money, you have to call that number there, 855-485-8477. There is a difference. A lot of people didn't realize that, but that is the number over to Crime Stoppers, and they'll help you there. Really wanting that guy taken into it. We had several fender benders throughout the county and the area yesterday. Zero. Let's go out here. Here was a boo-boo that happened in the 4,000 block. Now, there's nobody in that. I just want to stress that out, show that. But a boo-boo there is we got, can't buff that one out either.
No, I can't park there.
Got a little incident. Metro arriving on scene, as you can see, a minivan and that both included in that little minor accident that happened yesterday. Nothing major. We also had one that they call this 5 Points, don't they, at the old Acme Plaza? We had a fender bender there yesterday as police showed up. And as we look here, the suck-up truck has arrived. We're missing a fender.
That'll buff out.
It was taken on to the wrecking yard also. Again, minor of what happened there. I stopped and talked to everybody for a little bit there. Yesterday after, I thought this was going to be bad.
Yeah, that come out like it was going to be horrible.
When you hear dump truck involved with two other people, you think, whoa. Yeah. So off I went. I dropped my pen and paper and headed off to the nearest accident that was in North Hills. And, well, it was minor. Let's just show this of what's going on here. Apparently, a car rolled out into the roadway or something, and caused some other fender benders here. And they pulled over here. As you can tell, it's nothing major. There's the dump truck that was involved. Everything minor. And again, we're thankful for all of that. As you can see, everybody pulled over. And within 20 minutes, it was all cleared up and everything was back to normal. There's O'Neill there, everywhere. Mm-hmm. Boy works hard all the time. I also got, when we were at the standoff, no, not the standoff, the situation. The situation
I like
at
that.
the Hampton Inn. I kept getting these texts going, what's going on in Philadelphia? I see smoke. I said, I don't know. So I called Eric Clark, and he goes, what's your problem? I said, well, I'm here. And he goes, well, I got a small one. It ain't that big. But after you look at it, you think, man alive, look at this. This started as a brush fire, and it jumped and got into some tires that were piled up.
Wow.
And let's play this. Look at that black smoke bellowing. Is that the word, bellowing?
That's it.
And so it just kind of got out of hand for a minute, and they got the fire finally contained, but nothing was in danger, but serious fire there.
Oh, anytime you get tires on fire, it's serious, because usually here comes the DEQ and the
those
KGB
fellas.
and the CIA and the FBI. And
they got your number at that point, then,
yes,
don't
sir,
they?
you can't burn no tires. But something else people need to remember when you burn it, even that little brush pile, that barrel, it's your fire. It's also your smoke, and you're responsible for that. So
and what Greg means by that is if it got out in a road and caused a wreck, you would be held accountable, correct?
Well, you go ahead, exactly.
So just watch that, y'all. It's easy to throw that match, and next thing you know, you got 3 pine tops trying to pop it down, beat it, and whoop it. Mm-hmm. Scary there. Did y'all realize Wink Martindale passed away yesterday? 91.
Game show host.
That's him. He's been around forever, Wink Martindale. And it seems like, am I wrong that back in the early days, he had a connection with Elvis as a disc jockey?
I don't know about that. Didn't he do the dating game?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he done a bunch of them, but I really had in the back of my mind that there was some type of connection to. I need to Google that, and we'll look that up in a minute. Elvis. I'm not a fast typer.
Yeah. Nah.
Let's see. Was Elvis friends with Wink Martindale? Yeah, he was friends. I made an appearance in June of '56 following Presley's. Anyway, I thought it was closer than that, but anyway, that's just part of it there. So many people up and at 'em. We do appreciate y'all joining us. Let's see what else we have. We had a water leak yesterday in Meridian. Did you see that?
Oh, wow.
29th Avenue. It was blowing water left and right.
Had a couple of gas leaks yesterday, too. It seemed to me like we're having more and more gas leaks.
Yeah,
it seems like every day it's a gas leak. Call before you dig.
It's those fiber guys.
They'll come out and locate it, and they'll mark it for you, and they'll be pretty darn close.
They're going to be real close.
So call before you do any dig. And again, you start digging, whatever you breaks, usually you're responsible for.
Oh, yeah.
So if you cut into fiber optic cable or cut into something else, please be careful.
Yeah, that stuff's...
And natural gas don't play.
No, it doesn't. Wink's wife dated Elvis before she married him. And there was some type of connection. He kept always eyeballing him, thinking, you looking at my woman? That always... I mean, I still can't get over Elvis dating June Carter.
No, really?
Oh, he had a thing for her. Back in there, I mean, he was young, misguided. It's scary, I know.
She'd have to slip up on the dipper to get a drink of water.
That's true. That is true. Lots going on. What else is shaping up in Marion here lately? Y'all got any big stuff? The election's coming up before long.
Yep, the election's coming up, and like I said before, it's 7 people running for the Board of Aldermen right now, and so the top 5 get elected, and 4 incumbents are running, and 3 people that haven't served before. So, I take that back. 1 has served, but they're running again.
Correct.
And so we're ready to get that out of the way so we can continue governing. So we're glad we have a great team in Marion right now, a real good team.
And a lot of good things have happened and are happening.
Yeah, we are in a very good position. We have a great Board of Aldermen, and I'm hopeful that they'll all be back there with me again.
Let me ask this, and this is off the cuff here. I may catch you off guard on this, and I've got to get my list together because I'm off guard is the reason I'm asking. Easter is coming up. Do any churches within the city limits have Easter egg hunts coming up that I'm not aware of?
We have a crosswalk, which is Saturday. I have to get the time for you.
Why don't you just throw a rock at it?
Well, that's why I asked you. I knew I was catching my off. There is something coming.
It's a few things that are going on, and I'll send it to you so you can get it to all the followers to make sure that they,
we'll do that. And again, my apologies for catching you off guard there.
I probably should have had that.
Yeah, it's my fault there. I wanted to say this. I went down, and I hadn't had a chance to really talk about this last Friday. We went down to Wesley House. Someone made a donation for shoes for the needy, and this gentleman there generously gave, and I wanted to thank him for Mr. Griffin, everything that he done of donating shoes to those people that needed that. Because as we went in the place and you looked around, there was a lot of high heels, and it's just not something that people wear on a daily basis. So he helped out with what he could there to help with that. So big thank you.
There's a lot of good. I mean, I know we seem to tend to tell what's going on, and it's usually bad. But there's a lot of good things happen. A lot of good things happen.
And I wanted to bring this guy up because I remember him as a kid. Indy. I grew up in Scuba, Mississippi, and Indy was a legend in Kemper and also in Lauderdale County.
Absolutely.
If there was somebody picking on you, you always wanted Indy on your side because he was bigger than anybody around. And if he was your friend.
Smiling. Yeah, he was a nice guy. Him and Banker Fleming.
Yeah. They held a benefit for him last weekend. And I just want to say thank you to everybody that dropped by and gave to that and bought a barbecue plate and helped out there. Indy is just known by so many people. Most people don't even know his last name. It's just Indy, the big guy.
And he originated from Somalia?
I believe so.
Wow. He's just a man, a heart of gold, help anybody.
Started out with Chuck Fleming in Scuba, Mississippi, running those farming, all the farm for him.
He used to work out with Mr. Pritchett out there at Marion, too.
Yeah.
Indy's a good guy. He's always run Banker now when there's logging and doing all that. He's just a super friendly guy.
So bringing back a memory or two for everybody that knew Indy. We got more coming up as we move along on this early Wednesday morning. It's midweek, y'all. Church night. We'll be right back. Let's face it, accidents are going to happen. If a deer jumps out in front of your car, go see my friends and professionals at Chet's Paint and Body Shop in Center Hill. Chet can help you navigate through this confusing world of insurance by providing photo estimates to insurance companies and the right to choose the body shop of your choice. From a minor scratch to a major collision, Chet has you covered. Chet offers quality repairs by trained and certified technicians with a lifetime warranty on all repairs. That's Chet's Paint and Body Shop.
Looking for a deal you can't pass up? Right now, drive off in a quality used car for just $299 down and only $299 a month here at Johnson Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Meridian. That's right. Good, reliable cars, packed with features at a price you'll love. $299 down, $299 a month. Look, I'm not kidding. This is a real offer that our customers have taken advantage of for years now. Come see us today, Johnson Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, Meridian.
Philadelphia Gun and Pawn, located at 910 Posey Avenue, has tons of lawnmowers to choose from. A big selection of zero-turn lawnmowers, power washers, and even barbecue grills. Step inside the store and see their complete line of Liberty safes along with those Browning safes. A large selection of Louis Vuitton purses along with satin shirts and bead sets. And tons to choose from for the outdoorsman in your household. And always a great deal on any type of jewelry you're looking for. And a private lobby for pawns for your confidentiality. Philadelphia Gun and Pawn. Welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray along with Greg. Boy, what a morning this has been. It's been a lot of fun as we've learned so much about what's going on in Marion, what's coming up. We had a question that somebody put in the comments, and I want you to address this. James put, if the county is doing road work on Marion streets, then the city of Meridian can demand the same service.
Explain that.
Yeah, so I'm going to kind of break that down a little bit. Okay, so like I said, every taxpayer in Lauderdale County pays the same millage. We're going it's some points in there, but we're going to use the 60 as a round number.
Okay.
60 mills. Everybody's house and everything is assessed at 60 mills. You pay a millage off of 60 mills. Okay. 8, we're going to use round numbers. 8 of those mills are dedicated to roads and bridges for everybody in Lauderdale County. Roads and bridges.
City, county, it don't matter if you live inside Lauderdale County.
Yep, out of that 60 mills, 8 of it goes to roads and bridges.
Okay.
Currently, right now, the city of Meridian gets a check back from Lauderdale County for their 8 mills.
Okay.
So they don't. The county has no obligation because they're giving them the money. Okay.
And the city has their own.
And city has their own
crew and paving or whatever.
So it just supplements their budget.
Okay.
I think it's about $600,000. It supplements their budget as it stands. And as it relates to Marion, as of right now, the county keeps the 8 mills.
Gotcha.
And which equals to about what?
I've been told $150,000 to $160,000.
Okay.
Hadn't got an exact figure.
I hadn't got an exact figure. So they keep that, and so that's why they help us with the potholes.
And that's why you don't per se have a street department.
Correct.
Because
they keep the 8 meals. That's correct.
Okay.
And let me ask.
They're wanting to give you the check back, and you take care of your own. I mean, I'm asking.
Yes. That's basically, after digging into it some more, that's basically what's been presented is, hey, we'll give you your check back. You just handle
your
day-to-day operation. Right. And in the event that the city still pays the county tax, Marion still will pay a county tax.
Right.
And in the event that some major comes up,
a flood, like we was talking about a culvert failure, they would still come help.
That's correct.
Like what they call that, an agreement.
MOU or
that's it.
Memorandum of Understanding or a
right.
It's another word that they use, but anyways, so that the county is not technically probably not obligated to do
anything.
Most of that inside the city of Meridian because they receive the funds back. You know,
right?
And in the event, but county they'll still pave roads in the city. They will still do things inside the city with the mutual aid agreement between the city and the county.
And where all this comes about is if y'all were to be given a check, you want to know what it's cost over the last 4 to 8, 10 years of paving in the city limits of Marion before it's presented. Is your
my thing is just give us an opportunity to know. If you spent $300,000 a year over the last whatever year, let us know that so we can kind of plan for it. What if it's $60,000?
Yeah.
What if it's $100,000?
Again, I'm not a construction engineer, but $150,000, $160,000.
It's not a lot, but
I also can buy road signs.
It's not a lot, but it's only about 4 miles of road in Marion.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
4 miles?
4.5, something like that.
Okay, it's not a lot.
It ain't much
because you've got a state highway.
It's a lot of state aid roads. I mean, well, not a lot, but those are considered state aid roads. They get funded. The county gets funding to deal with those.
But
roads.
I'm saying, are we talking about? It wouldn't be grass cutting. It would be just ditch maintenance, culvert maintenance,
things like that.
Road work, potholes, striping, that per se.
Right.
Okay.
And even still, like I said, we still have done some of our own. And we did it. We had our first ever paving project. We did it because the county. I mean, they get overwhelmed. I mean, they got the whole county, and I saw that. I understand that, and I appreciate what they do in Marion. I really do. And everybody does. But we were at a time where, hey, these roads after the bridge was closed and opened back, we had a lot of traffic on neighborhood streets. And so we spent about $270,000 paving those roads without waiting on the county to come do it.
You're right.
So,
I didn't even think about that, but that did these less traveled roads when that bridge was shut down.
Right.
Did see a lot more cars.
You'd be surprised you can wear out an old just a little country road really quick.
Very quick.
Close.
Very quick.
Yeah.
Very quick.
I agree.
So that's kind of where we are with the Marion situation. A lot of growth still coming to Marion.
That's why the roads are very important, and we're making. Another thing is we're in the process of making some commitments on some of these projects that are going on to help boost what we're trying to do. And so if we're going to get thrown this, we don't need to be making commitments.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
if all of a sudden you're going to come up with $200,000, you'd...
Right.
I get that.
Yeah. So I mean, we kind of have to take a step back and look at the picture in totality and try to figure out what do we want to do, because the things that we're going to invest in that are going to help boost our economy is going to put more money in our pockets to be able to do stuff. But we kind of need to gauge what needs to happen first, when it needs to happen, and all that kind of stuff. And the only way we can do that is by knowing the numbers.
All right.
And I really think it was more of a misunderstanding. I think it can all be, worked out. Everybody's trying. Everybody's on the same. Everybody wants to see Lauderdale County do good. Everybody wants to see Marion do good.
That's 100%.
Lisa, we'll be right back.
Celebrating our 7th anniversary, Al's Garden and Gift is excited to share the beautiful colors of spring with you. Beautiful bedding and vegetable plants, hanging baskets, roses, ferns, shrubs, and fruit trees to help you enjoy the season. Spruce up lawn and flower beds with fresh sod, mulch, soils, and pine straw. Then brighten your day with unique gifts, candles, gourmet food items, flags, wind chimes, planters, fountains, custom wreaths, and so much more. Spring is here at Al's Garden and Gift. Bloom with happiness.
The selection is always changing at Massey Supermart Auto Sales with low-mileage cars and trucks. How about a Z71 2500 HD? Or maybe you're looking for the Ford F-150 with lots of leg room in it. Plenty of SUVs like the Explorer for the family. Or if you're looking for a gas saver to go back and forth to work, come by and see the mini cars like this Nissan.
The low profit dealer, Massey Supermart.
At Pettit Jewelers in Philadelphia, Mississippi, trust Nicole with your priceless heirloom jewelry. With generations of refined expertise, she ensures your cherished pieces are meticulously cared for. Pettit Jewelers, Philadelphia.
Meridian's favorite barbecue is Squealer's Barbecue, named the barbecue capital for the state of Mississippi. Whether it's barbecue, wings, or burgers, Squealer's simply has the best for a family environment. Every Thursday night, there's live music out on the porch. Takeout orders are welcome, and whether it's your next tailgate or large catering event, your friends at Squealer's are there to help. Drop in for lunch today or a night out on the town. Squealer's Barbecue, the best in fine barbecue.
Welcome back. We did get a report of an accident parking lot of Wally World on Highway 39. Ouch.
Man, they was moving too, wasn't they?
Just kind of nailed it right there. Oof. Whoops.
Honey, I scratched the car.
I had an uncle one time that, was it Avery Dennison?
Yeah.
Yeah, he done that in the parking lot of Avery Dennison. He was getting off work, the sun was in his eye, and he nailed it, and wham!
Wow.
Totaled out a 76 Ford F-150.
Oh, man, beautiful truck.
Yeah, it was
I
gone.
can still hear them doors closing, click, click.
They did click.
Ford in the late 70s, that was the best doors on a vehicle. Chevrolet, and don't get me wrong, I know all you bow tie lovers, had to reach down to the corner of the door and pick it up.
To make it close.
There wasn't no way to slip up at your girlfriend's house because you had to slam that door. That Ford would go click, click.
It sure did. Matter of fact, I bought some new door hinges, believe it or not, for my Chevy that's parked outside.
I could change out them neoprene bushings.
Yeah.
Man, door would fall off at Chevrolet.
It sure would. You have to pick up on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Memories.
Oh, yeah, sweet memories.
So what was your first car, Larry? Do you remember?
My first car was a two-door.
He's thinking.
Chevy Silverado. Forget what year.
Single cab there.
Single cab. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Sure.
So you've been there in those situations yourself there. Yeah. All right. As we begin, Greg, we got any birthdays? I know we were all political today, but did we have any birthdays stroll in?
Miss Winky Bliss' birthday, and then we have Frog and Miss Dolores' 46 years.
That's a heap of them.
That poor woman has been putting up with Frog for 46 years.
I hear he's going to be cooking something this Friday.
That's what
some good Friday fish.
That's what I'm hearing. And I reckon that girl will have to go out of town. She's too good to go eat with.
That's the rumor. She's going to try to skip lunch with us.
Of course, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I'll carry my vehicle instead of riding with you.
You don't want to ride with me?
Just pulling up at a place and having to leave, it hurts a fat man.
And it always works. You get out of town a few miles. I made it to Enterprise yesterday. Me and Greg had pulled up in Enterprise, and then the situation unfolded, and we had returned quickly to get to the city.
I was looking at Bittersweet. I was thinking about one of them club sandwiches or something.
Oh, that bologna thing.
That fried bologna. And nope, got to go.
It was over just like that.
Yep.
Well, I want to bring this up, as we often do a Bible verse at the end of the show. I want to read this one to you. It's always good as we get near what is coming, and this is Easter. Always remember what this is all about there. We go to Matthew 21, verse 43. Therefore, I tell you that the kingdom of God will be taken away from you and given to a people who will produce its fruit. God said that.
Yeah.
So those old words written in red as we all go to what happens there as Jesus tells us. Larry, we turn to you as we get ready to close out the show.
Yeah.
We want to say thank you for you coming.
Oh yeah. I just want to end the show. I want to say thank you to the citizens of Marion. They allowed me to go unopposed this time, and I'm very appreciative of them. And I want to let them know that myself and the Board of Aldermen are working very, very hard for them every single day. And as always, I'm going to always put them first. And if it comes down to doing what's right by the citizens of Marion and being liked, I'm going to choose the citizens of Marion every time.
I understand that. That's pretty strong. Says a lot there for what you do in your job there. Larry, thank you for coming in. We appreciate
Thank y'all
that.
for having
Me and you going to have to do something here.
I might have a sandwich.
Wouldn't a Chick-fil-A have been nice this morning?
Well, something
What do you
would.
call the little biscuit things?
I had 2 pecan twirls and a cold, refreshing Diet Coke.
That took care of things, didn't it?
Took care of things.
Thank y'all so much for letting us come into your homes, your cars, your businesses, wherever you're watching from today. Thank y'all.
And we appreciate you. Remember that. And support our sponsors.
Yes,
You see
sir.
something on here, that's what keeps the lights on. That's kind of what keeps everything up and going.
Yep, it sure is. We can't thank them enough because they've been with us since day one. The believers is what I like to call them.
That's right.
We spread the truth as much as we can get it out there. We'll be back tomorrow morning beginning at 6:30 and then another show at 7. And plus we'll be on the streets all day today.
Oh, and remember, Odie, reapply that suntan lotion. We don't want you to get burnt. Just make sure you reapply, Odie, and you hold somebody's hand when you get off that boat so you can get back on it. Love y'all.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.